Okay, welcome back. I'm gonna sneeze, so I'm gonna edit this out. Oh no, this is gonna be one of those where you feel the tickle of a sneeze and then you don't sneeze, and then you just look like an idiot. Maybe I'll leave this in. Welcome back to another edition of Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. I'm that other dude, Andrew, and as always, I'm joined by Heather.
Hello.
And today is our final episode of 2024. It's amazing how fast the year has gone. We have pivoted several times in the show's existence. We took some time off earlier this year, or later this year, and now we're back. And we've got a really good thing going, in my opinion, so I'm excited to be here. And today, we're going to bring you some jams from the old school, jams from the present school, and some recent, are they mostly recent releases, and some future releases. So we're covering all the bases. All right. So we'll start in the past tense. Last night, as I was falling asleep, I was scrolling through Instagram, and I saw a photo of a guy whose stage name is Paul Chain, which I thought, first of all, that's a really cool name. And his photo is very breathtaking. He reminds me of like a young Tony Iommi, sort of, you know, and he's got just a cool look. And it was on the profile for Weedian, and it said something like doom metal, like some of the greatest doom riffs. It was something where it was like a magnet drawing me to listen to the music. I had no idea what this guy did, who he was, where he was from. I just saw this cool-looking person and doom, and Weedian is one of those entities, because Heather and I were talking, we don't know if that's a group of people or a single person. If you want to confirm any or deny anything, and you are Weedian, please feel free to reach out to us. But Weedian, along with like Rob Doomhammer and Mr. Doom, there are a couple of places where if they recommend it, I will listen. No second guessing. So, anyway, I looked this guy up, Paul Chain, and so this is what Weedian said. Paul Chain is easily a top 10 guitarist of all time, if not top 3 doom guitarists of all time. Listen to these evil riffs. So, I don't think you could get a better introduction. So, and then I found this. Paul Chain, whose actual Italian name is Paolo Catina, was a youth musical prodigy who originally formed a band called Death SS. There is no Nazi connection, with vocalist Steve Sylvester in 1977. And then I think I read that Death SS stood for Death of Steven Sylvester. They went on to produce a handful of 7-inch EPs peppered with dark Sabbath-inflected doom metal, and worked up a stage show that would possibly have made luminaries like Alice Cooper take pause. Several years later, Chain's spiritual beliefs caused him to leave Death SS, and with this career move, Paul set the groundwork for a career that has produced not only some of the most dark, emotional metal this scribe has heard, but also explorations into genres as seemingly far afield as electronic, doomy drone, psych, etc. Now, I forgot where I read that, but I found 2 releases, one of which was just under the moniker Paul Chain, and then the second one is under the moniker Paul Chain Violent Theater. So the first album is called Alcahast, I believe, and the tracks I found were called Sand, Glass, and Living Today. And then the third track is called Voyage to Hell, which is on an EP called Detaching from Satan.
hold your mind.
Which I just thought, okay, that's exactly what I'm into. So right now you've probably heard those tracks because I've included them in the show. But it's a really cool doom with elements obviously that the previous paragraph talked about. You could definitely tell the Sabbath influence, but there's also some unique elements to it that make it its own thing. So yeah, this time I didn't go so far back. The previous few bands have been from the early 70s. This, I think, is more late 70s, early 80s probably. So not one of the precursors of Doom per se, but probably right in the sweet spot of when Doom was coming into its own. So I would recommend checking out Paul Chain. He's very prolific. He's got a lot of albums out there. And yeah, that's how we're going to start A Blast from the Past, Paul Chain.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah, no, it is. It was cool. So now we have the segment of what you had been listening to this week.
Yeah.
If you want to jump in.
So, speaking of the Weedian, who I think we both agree has excellent taste. So, there's the 100 Best Releases of 2024, which I've been listening to for a while. It's got 100 songs on it, and there are surprisingly a lot on there that I've never heard before. So that really piqued my interest. And I picked these songs. The 4 food groups are represented. We've got Doom, Desert, Heavy Psych, and Stoner. So, first there's I Mammoth, or is it A? Like, how you doing?
Yeah, I read it as I Mammoth.
Yeah, Return to
A-Y-E.
Stardust. Yeah, Return to Stardust is the song, and this is my Doom representation, and I thought it was heavy and pounding, and it has really cool vocals and lots of awesome guitar riffs.
Yeah, Return to Stardust. So I Mammoth is from Murfreesboro, Tennessee, which I thought was interesting because I remember speaking with Patrick Nahoda, who was in Nashville from the band Nahoda, about what that there was a vibrant metal scene in Nashville, which was surprising because I, like most people, think Nashville is more of a country and western vibe. But it's interesting how you probably have these pockets all over the place of vibrant metal scene. I don't know what Murfreesboro is like, but yeah, this had a crushing riff, but some cool progressive elements that sounded like a keyboard somewhere in there for the solo, and then some tempo changes. It didn't sound like Dope Smoker, but for some reason I got the same vibe that I got when I listened to Dope Smoker by Sleep. That sort of the je ne sais quoi. I don't know what it is, but
Yeah.
there was something about it.
Yeah.
And I liked how the lyrics were just, it didn't follow like the verse, chorus, verse sort of thing. It was just one sentence, like dawn of creation, binding molten earth, life's foundation, weaving architecture, rise from ash and rust, return to stardust, bonding of atoms, starseed travelers, it was just these like powerful declarations that I thought was really cool.
Yeah, and then Blue Heron, which is more on the desert side, and they talked about the New Mexico and the desert in New Mexico, which I thought was really cool. The song is called Dinosaur, and I really like the gravelly vocals, and it reminded me, like, as the song progressed, it kind of reminded me of a thunderstorm, the way the thunderstorm goes along, and that's what the song reminded me of.
Yeah, Blue Heron from Albuquerque. I wrote stoner rock bluesy. I also liked the gravelly vocals, but it wasn't growled vocals. It was like it. I mean, he didn't remind me of what's the guy's name? Why can't I think of the guy's name? Anyway, it was a very cool vocal delivery, and it was a nice mid tempo sort of bluesy stoner jam.
Yeah. And then Lucifer Giant, which is it has a heavy psych. The song's called Monuments, and if you like King Buffalo, you'll really like this. It's really remind me of each other a lot. I thought the song was beautiful and expansive.
Yeah, Lucifer Giant from Bern, Switzerland. I wish I knew about them. We did an episode that was just bands with the word giant in their name. We listened to Sulfur Giant and Wounded Giant. And I would have added Lucifer Giant had I known about them. Yeah, it was interesting because this was also textbook Doom, but with melody and then some heavy psych. But I hadn't really heard melody like this in this type of music before, where you're going down the Doom heavy psych avenue. So yeah, that was really cool. I will definitely be listening to more Lucifer Giant.
Yeah, and then a band called Cleen, Cleen. They're from Michigan. The song is A Means to an End, and this is more like a stoner representation. And the lyric, I like this lyric. I just want to worship Satan and go the fuck to sleep. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's none. I can't think of a more true statement than that. They're from Flint, Michigan. So all four of these tracks have come off of the Weedian 100 Best Songs of 2024, which, if you haven't picked it up, you definitely should. And Cleen, the first thing I thought is, when I was in junior high, I was in a rap group called the Artificial Implants. And I think I've told this on the show before. And my stage name was DJ Scratch and Sniff. And my partner's stage name was MC Cleen X, Kleen -X. So when I saw Cleen spelled Cleen, the first thing I thought of was Cleen X, my MC. Anyway, that's a story that goes nowhere. So, yeah, this was cool because it almost sounds like it's underwater at first with the intro. And then the drums come in, and it reminded me of When the Levee Breaks by Led Zeppelin, like that sort of echoey drum sound. And then there's a really cool stoner vibe to the song, like you said. I felt there was some psychedelic too. And then at about 1:15, the bottom drops, and they just ratchet the intensity up to 11. But yeah, 4 very good representations of, like you said, the 4 food groups were represented. Well done.
Yeah, and I was kind of excited because I wasn't familiar with any of these bands, and so I have since gone and saved their records. So I'm going to go back and listen to the whole record. So
yeah, I mean we sort of talked about this previously, but just the amount of good music that's made that you never hear about, that sort of just slips by.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we're hipping some people to this music that's out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, well done. I hadn't heard of any of these bands either. So.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love being introduced to new bands.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
So next up, we've got submissions, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
and
why don't you take us away?
Okay, so these aren't in any particular order or anything, but I thought I would start with Black Sasquatch, who are friends of the show. So I definitely, they sent us music not with just like, hey, listen to this, we have a new EP coming out, and it wasn't like, hey, can you talk about our music on the show? They just sent it. But I'm like, well, I want to talk about it too. So their new EP coming up is called Sighting, and these are 2 songs that they sent to us. One song is called Wizard, and I really like the opening guitar riff. Also, the song has some stops and starts, which I'm a huge fan of. And I think Helmet does that, like, they're experts at that. So I'm a huge fan of stops and starts in music. And I thought it was really catchy.
Yeah, Wizard, I felt like had more of a stoner rock vibe. I don't know if I could articulate what Black Sasquatch's sound is like. They seem to do a lot of different things. This leaned more into the hard rock stoner vibe. But I felt like I could put this song on any jukebox at any bar, and everyone in the bar would get into it. A lot of times when you put on the type of music that you and I like to listen to at a bar, you're going to lose like 75% of the people in the bar. But I felt like this was a jam where people would, the whole place would be rocking along. So... felt like this was a great song that you could play for anyone, and they would find something about it to bang their head to, no matter what sort of music they listened to.
Yeah. And then the second song is called Temple. And I thought this had a nice long introduction, and the song is a bit more moody. I really like the tone of the guitar, and they're touching on some different themes with this song, which I think is great. I think it's great that they're kind of touching on different things that I don't think they've ever really touched on before.
Yeah, I actually listened to this one first, and then I listened to Wizard, and this one sort of caught me off guard, because a lot of the previous songs we've listened to of Black Sasquatch, there's been more of like a playfulness to their music, I feel. And this one was really straightforward doom. Like, I got like an ominous feel to it. There were bells ringing. I was like, okay, this is them throwing their hat into the gauntlet of like, okay, no, we're for real. Like, we're gonna go toe to toe with any band out there, and this is some of our best stuff. And we can play hard rockin' music like Wizard that you can throw on the jukebox, but we can also like win over the hearts of every doom head out there that's like a purist. So
sky turning black, ready to attack. Minds filled with fear, there's no turning back. Lights from the sky make you wonder why. Alone in your head, that's what we said.
I was very impressed with their range on both of these tracks.
Yeah. So I didn't catch when the EP is going to be released, but it's called Siding, Black Sasquatch. So definitely keep your eye out for that. And then we got a submission from a band called Red Eye, and they have an album coming. It's called 3. And it's releasing February 28th. And the song that they sent to us is called Nebula. And I really like that they included the lyrics on this song. This is a cool song. It has a lot of groove, especially with the bass. There was this really cool bass line. Really nice atmospheric and psychedelic guitar tones. The mixture of the doom element I thought was really satisfying. The lyrics talk about an altered state of mind and being swept away. The song is incredible, and if this is an indication of what the rest of the album is going to be, I'm super excited about it.
Yeah. Well, so let me jump back. So Black Sasquatch is from Nashport, Ohio. Red Eye is from Malaga, Spain. So that's really cool that we're getting stuff from all over the world, from in our backyard to the opposite side of the sphere. And I wrote right off the bat, they're establishing they mean business. And I wrote, this is not your grandparents' riff. There was just power. There was power in the riff, but it was melodic too. It wasn't just we're going to clobber you over the head with the heaviness of our riff. But then I wrote, I feel like I got hit by a freight train. But then at 3 minutes in, it becomes spacey, psychedelic, and gentle. So I feel like I got punched in the gut by the riff, which I liked, and then I was caressed by the riff and like nursed back to health. So yeah, I'm excited to listen to the rest of the album.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we got an album submission, and this is from Jackal's Feast, and it's called Lost in the Forest and Tormented by Demons. So I thought, wow, this is really going to be up our alley. So I can't think of a better title than that. The vocals, and I don't know if you're what do you think about this? I thought they reminded me of Danzig. I don't know why. Like, maybe the tone. Like, he doesn't sing like Danzig, but maybe the tone of his voice kind of reminded me of Danzig.
Yeah, Here, go on. I'll comment on that later.
Okay. This leans more towards traditional type doom. The album cover depicts a forest, and there's snow on the ground, and the trees are bare, and there's like snow on the branches of the trees. So it feels kind of desolate. You get kind of a gloomy atmosphere from it. I like how the music is subdued, and then you get really heavy guitar parts. There's a lot of subtlety to it, which I really respect. It doesn't, like you said before, it doesn't always have to beat you over the head. You know, there's a storytelling aspect to the songs, and I feel like you're sitting around a fire listening to someone telling a story, and the music feels warm and welcoming. This is their debut album. Like, the fact that this is new just does not register with me. It sounds like they've been playing together forever. And it sounds like this music was passed down from ancestors, you know, like ancient scrolls that were just passed down to the next generation. I can't fathom that this is new. It does not sound like it's new.
Well, yeah, so Jackal's Feast from Trenton, New Jersey. And I'm sure we've had, bands that we've talked about from New Jersey, but I don't remember very many. Like, I think Solace is from New Jersey. That's all I can think of. And it's interesting you mentioned the vocal delivery, because I wrote, it reminded me of like Bob Seger or something. Where,
oh, wow.
but not. That's the same thing. Like, it doesn't sound like Danzig or Bob Seger, but there is something to. It's not like a sing-songy delivery.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, definitely unique. I hadn't heard anything like that, and I love the song titles. A Prayer to Crom, and they have a video where it opens a book of Conan. Which is cool. And A Prayer to Crom is like an epic, operatic, and anthemic song, sort of like a bluesy dirge. And then I listened to Lost in the Forest and Tormented by Demons, and I just wrote the word tone in all caps with an exclamation point. It sounds like the bass, like the riff is like the bass is driving the song. And then The Crushing Weight of the Infinite opens with a synthesizer, and then the riff actually crushes you. So the song is not misleading whatsoever, but it's like a melodic crushing. That's a theme that I got from a lot of the songs here, is like the intensity of the riff will metaphorically crush you, but there's enough melody to kind of nurse you back to health. So this was a really cool combination of music. Like, I feel like you did a really wonderful job curating songs from the Weedian, 100 best songs of the year, like having good representations of different groups. And then it was cool just that we ended up getting such different submissions. it worked out really. There was like everything that I could have wanted represented was there. It was a smorgasbord of good music.
Yeah. Yeah. Very, very nice.
A great way to end the year.
Yeah, definitely. And that we have more for
Yeah,
next
well,
year.
we're sort of, I think, finding our new, we've pivoted a couple of times previously in the show. And I think we're sort of settling into the new categories. And I think my hope is that more people will submit music for us. We have music lined up for the start of the new year, but if you're a band and you're out there and you want to listen to two enthusiastic fans review your music, definitely send it our way.
Yeah. And we just do this for fun. We don't, we're not doing this, as a money-making enterprise or anything like that. We just do this for fun because we are fans of music, and we tend to lean more towards doom, but we like all music.
Heather is not wrong. We love music. We dig the hard stuff. Send it our way, and we will give you our 2 cents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we will do it happily. So
Yes.
feel free to DM either of us. We have a Gmail account, happyhourhg@gmail.com. Feel free to send stuff along. This has been an interesting and wonderful year of music. I feel like we've had some really cool opportunities. We talked with Slow Green Thing. I thought that was really cool. You've introduced me to a ton of new bands.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just nice to be in the trenches with you, talking good music.
Thank you. It's very enjoyable.
It is, absolutely. Well, folks, hit us up into 25. We'll be back, and we will be bringing you tasty jams from the past, present, and future. So until then, have a happy 2025.
Yes, and we're going to have a New Year's live stream, New Year's Eve.
Yes, a New Year's live stream. So feel free to check us out on YouTube as Heather and I, and hopefully some special guests.
Yeah, stop in and say hi.
Absolutely. We will be around. So have a good rest of the weekend, everyone. And send us your stuff, and we will be in touch.
Thank you.